All right, let's dive right into this. If you're in the world of digital marketing, you know the whole social media automation thing is just a constant cat and mouse game. You get your bots running, you start to scale, and then bam, a platform update, an API limit, or even worse, the ban hammer comes down. Today, we're going to look at a tool that claims it can change the rules of that game for good. I mean, this is the question that keeps growth hackers and agency owners up at night, isn't it? You build this whole incredible system around automation, but you always have that feeling in the back of your mind that it could all just vanish overnight. That constant fear. That's exactly the problem we're digging into today. So why does this happen over and over again? Well, you could call it the automation trap. So many marketers fall right into it because they're relying on these old school methods that, frankly, are just getting easier and easier for platforms to spot and shut down. Let's break down the 3 big reasons your bots are probably failing. First up, API rate limits. Think of these as invisible walls. Your typical bot is making all these direct calls to a platform's API, and eventually the platform just goes, whoa, hold on. That's way too many requests, way too fast. It throttles your bot, slows your momentum to a crawl, and you guessed it, flags your account for suspicious activity. And then there's just the reliability. Anybody who's used older tools like Jarvee knows this pain. You wake up, check your dashboard, and find out your entire operation has been down for hours just because the software crashed. These aren't just little annoyances. They completely kill your workflow and your results. And here it is. The ultimate nightmare. You've spent weeks, maybe months, warming up your accounts, building a following, creating a real presence, only to log in one morning and find it's all gone. Permanently banned. This happens because those API-based bots leave behind a really obvious footprint that algorithms are getting scarily good at spotting. So if the old way is basically a trap, what's the alternative? Well, it really requires a totally different way of thinking. Instead of trying to talk to the machine through its API, the new philosophy is all about behaving exactly like a human user. You mimic, you don't script. And that brings us to Onimator. The whole idea here is that it's not some cloud tool. It actually operates on real, physical, or emulated Android devices. It mimics the exact taps, the swipes, even the little delays of a real person. And by doing that, it just sidesteps the whole API detection system completely. The tool calls itself full-stack stealth automation for digital marketers who play to win. I mean, that tells you everything, right? This is not for casual hobbyists. It's a professional-grade tool built for serious marketers who need automation that's not just reliable, but basically undetectable. So how does it actually do this? The easiest way to think about it is what I'm calling the digital puppet method. Your main dashboard, that's you, the puppeteer. And each Android device is a puppet, perfectly copying human actions on your command, but without leaving any of the usual tracks of a traditional bot. Getting started really breaks down into 3 main steps. First, you install the software on what are called rooted Android devices, basically phones that are modified to give you more control, and then you sync them up. Second, you assign a unique proxy to every single account. This is absolutely crucial. You can't skip it if you want to stay safe at scale. And finally, you get to the fun part. You start automating everything from simple swipes to really complex AI-powered chat flows. All right, now for the main event. How does this new mimicry approach actually stack up against the traditional tools that have been around for years? Let's put Onimator head-to-head with the old guard. Okay, the core difference really comes down to this. On the left, you've got your API bots like Jarvee. They talk directly to the platform's backend, which is efficient, sure, but it also makes them super easy to spot when the rules change. On the right, you have Onimator's real device emulation. It's interacting with the app's user interface, just like you would with your thumb. Its behavior is almost indistinguishable from a real person. And what are the results of that difference? Well, if you look at the chart, Onimator is the only one here using real devices, and that's what gives it that high band safety rating. It also jumps way ahead with a couple of other key advantages. Built-in AI chat flows, which is a huge time saver, and it covers apps like Tinder, which is a place where traditional bots really struggle. So this all sounds really powerful, but is it for everyone? The source material is super clear about this. This tool was designed with a very, very specific user in mind. Let's see if you fit the profile. The ideal users are people running high-volume operations. We're talking about OnlyFans agencies that need to automate Tinder swipes and Instagram DMs to feed their sales funnels. Or, social media agencies managing dozens of client accounts where they just can't afford a single ban. It's also perfect for affiliate marketers who are building out these complex lead gen systems across multiple platforms. So, here's the bottom line. If you're just looking to automate a single personal account, this is probably way overkill. It is a professional tool built from the ground up for people who need to scale their operations and do it aggressively and safely. The whole thing is designed around managing tons of devices and accounts at the same time. Okay, so we've seen what it is, how it works, and who it's really for. Now let's try to put it all together in a final verdict to help you figure out if this is a tool you should be looking at for your own automation setup.
Look, no tool is perfect, and it's always smart to look at the trade-offs. The pros are huge. Its real device approach gives you unmatched safety, it supports a bunch of different apps, and those AI features are a genuine game changer. But the cons are real too. It definitely has a steeper learning curve than a simple cloud tool. You absolutely have to use good proxies for it to work safely at scale, and for now, it's a Windows-only application.
And of course, there's the investment. The starting price for a 10-device package is around $175 a month. So yeah, this isn't some $10 a month casual tool. It's a serious operational expense. It really reflects its focus on professional scalers who can see a clear return on that money. So that leaves us with one last big question. We've seen these platforms get incredibly smart at detecting and banning traditional bots. In an environment like this one, is this digital puppet method, this perfect mimicking of human behavior, is that the only sustainable path forward for anyone who relies on automation to grow their business? It's definitely something to think about.